Hello everyone, welcome to the next lecture on the fuzzy logic. Today we will discuss about what is the difference between the fuzzy logic and the probability. Myself, Dr. Gar, working in the School of Mathematics, Thapar Institute, India. You can contact me either of my email IDs, else follow this my YouTube channel link for finding the various videos. The objective of this lecture is we will see the conceptual difference between the fuzzy logic as well as the probability. Although all of us knows that there is a minute difference between them, but actually there is a big difference between them. So let's understand in detail what is the exact difference between them. I will start with the formal definition of the fuzzy logic and the probability, and then we'll tell you the various examples so that you may be able to understand the difference between them. What is the fuzzy logic is? It is a form of the multi-valued logic. Remember the word of the multi-value. On the other hand, the probability is a branch of the mathematics. What is the fuzzy logic do that? That is the branch, that is a multi-value function or the logic in which the truth value of the variables may be any real numbers between 0 and 1. Both are the inclusive. On the other hand, the probability is only concerned about the numerical description of how likely an event occur or how likely the proposition is true. So they are not talking about any real number, they are only talking about whether the events occur or not. Like here, the fuzzy logic is defined with the help of the ordered pair. This is the ordered pair. The first element is my element of the universal set. This is called as the membership degree. This U is called as the universal set, or you can say this membership function, the domain is my all the universal set, but the codomain is my 0, 1, and it's called as the membership function. You can see both the fuzzy logic and the probability are the way of expressing the uncertainty, but they are in the different manners. How they are different manner? Look at that. They are talking about the uncertainty. So firstly we will describe that what is the uncertainty. So uncertainty is quantified as the probability distribution, which is basically divided into the two categories, and it depends upon how the informations or about the likelihood of what the single or the true value of the quantity is. Means this uncertainty is basically divided into the two categories. One is called as the objective uncertainty, second is the subjective. The subjective uncertainty means when there is no grounding of the analysis are there, or when there is no fact about the theory are there. On the other hand, the objective uncertainty means there is some reasonable person which have their set standards. Based on these two categories, again they are divided into the various form. One is called as the knowledge guided decision, that is called as the epistemology, and second one is the quasi-rational decisions. This subjective uncertainty is again divided into two categories. One is a rule guided decision and second is the intuition based, here that is called as the rule based uncertainty. Based on this classified, we can deal with that. The probabilities always deal with the uncertainty and with the help of the likelihood. On the other hand, the fuzzy logic is deal with the ambiguity and the vagueness. Question arises is, what is the ambiguity and the vagueness? Are they same meaning or they are different? So they have the huge difference between them. What is the vagueness is? Say a vagueness is the form of the uncertainty where the analyst is unable to clearly difference between the two classes. For example, if you look about that, if this person say I am a tall, so is it really a tall? According to this person, he is not at all because he is a taller than of this. But according to her, yes, this person is a taller. Why? Because the height of this girl is shorter than of this. So it means the I am a taller, this person say it depend upon the person to person. That is, they are unable to clearly difference between the definition of the taller. So this kind of the vagueness, that is whenever you are unable to classify the objects are there, so this kind of the vagueness will be handled with the help of the fuzzy logics are there, or it is called as the subjective logic because there is no grounding of the taller definition. What is on the other hand, what is the ambiguities? So ambiguity is another form of the uncertainty where the possible outcomes have the meanings but their interpretations is my unclear. So you can say if you have some certain statement but they have the unclear meanings and their interpretations, then called as the ambiguity. For example, the statement he returns from the bank is ambiguous. Why? Look at the word is bank. They have the different meanings are there. So these banks, maybe that it's a side of the river. So if the person is returned, either the person is returned from the side of the bank, or the bank is any of the financial institute. So it means this bank is not clear to us. So it means they have the unclear meanings and the unclear interpretation. So this line has the ambiguity. Ambiguity generally arises when you have the multiple experts or the multiple analysts which can observe the common statement like of this. So if there is a group discussion about that and he said something about the common decision, these three persons may have the different opinions. This person may have the different thinking about that. For example, he again said that he returns from the bank. So it may be that these three persons assume that they are returning from the side of the river, while these three persons assume that they are returning from the financial institute. So it means they have the multiple analysts, they have the different observations toward the single statement. Another examples are like here. So if there are the difference are there, they have the different influences, they are the different candidates, they have the different multiple experts. So again, definitely they have their different judgments are there. So we can deal with that. The fuzzy logic is deal with the ambiguity as well as the vagueness are there. So that's the difference between the vagueness and the ambiguity. On the other hand, the probability is deals with the likelihood are there. So how you can deal with the vagueness and the probability? Let's say a couple of the examples are there. So you can see both the terms are way of expressing the uncertainty, but all are in the different manners. Why? They are deal with the probabilities. Probabilities deal with the likelihood, while these are deals with the vagueness and ambiguity. Another thing is both have the similar range between the 0 and 1, but still there is a minor difference between them. All of you know that the probabilities lies between 0 and 1. Fuzzy logic or the fuzzy set is also lies between 0 and 1. Then what is the difference between them? You can see the probability is the likelihood that the future events will occur. So the probability is always be the likelihood that the future events will be occur, like probability of falling the fan. So that's the future event will occur. You can say probability of passing the subject by the candidates, that's the future events are there. On the other hand, the fuzzy logic will measure the ambiguity of the events that has already occurred. Like same example, he returned from the bank. So it is already returned from the bank, but this bank has their ambiguity in the statement. So it measures about this statement. In this probability, we will call as the probability event is in the set, while in the fuzzy logic, we will call as the membership degree is a set. You can see the probability is before the event happening, and the fuzzy logic, it always occurs after it happens. Second thing is it is based on the measure theory, while the fuzzy logic is based on the set theory. It is based on the probability measures, while it is based on the membership functions. Another major difference is that it is a major difference. It's the domain is my Boolean algebra, that is either the 0 or 1, while the domain is my closed interval 0, 1. Remember, it is not in the form of yes or no. So it means it 0.1, 0.004, both are lies in between them are the possible ways. For example, if I say myself Harish is an honest person or not. So if you talk about the Boolean logic, like whether it's a true or false, whether it's a yes or no, or it's a yes or no, or 1 or 2, then you are talking about the probability theory. If someone say that it is extremely honest, that is a 1. If say they are very honest, they are sometime honest, while they are extremely dishonest. So they are values lies in between the 0 and 1. So that is called as the fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic is measurement of the terms like of the very honest, sometimes extremely dissatisfaction and so on. So there are the two kinds of the imperfection as we are studying. One is the uncertainty, second is the vagueness. So whenever you are talking about the vagueness, that means the situation under the statement you are clear, it is unclear and have the different meaning for the different experts. then we always deal with the fuzzy set theory as well as the fuzzy logic. Or whenever you are talking about the uncertainty in terms of the likelihoods are there, then we are talking about the probability theory, possibility theory, Dempston are there. We will discuss these two theories in our next class, so that you may able to understand firstly the vagueness are there. So what is the so far what is the conclusion is that you had fuzzy logic is the define of the partial truth. It means it may lies between 0 and 1, while the probability is the measurement of the likelihood of the future occurrence. So you can say that probability is nothing but the subset of the fuzzy logic. So you can say if this is my fuzzy logic, so since it consists of the closed interval 0 1, so this is my probability theory. So you can say probability is the subset of the fuzzy logic. Say several examples are there. Look at these two examples are there. First example is there is a chance of the 95% rain this evening, while there is going to be rain very heavily in the raining today. So you have to identify that which one statement represent for the probability, which one represent for the fuzzy logic. So again you have to think about the two terms. One is which one is the likelihood, and second is which one is the vagueness or unclear statement. So you can see the first line which is very clear about that, that is there is a chances of this 95%. So there is a very well chance of raining this evening, because they are strictly mentioning about that it's a 95%. So it means nothing is unclear about this line. It means all are given to be likelihood. So this statement is corresponding to the probability of this here. While on this second example they are going to be very heavily. So what is the very heavily? Is it the 90% to be the very heavily, or it is a 95% to be the very heavily, or it to be the 100% to be the very heavily? So different peoples have the different meanings towards the heavily. Someone may think about the 90% is so heavy. Sometimes the people say 95% is extremely heavy are there. So this is the fuzziness is there, because we get to know that rain is going to be very heavily, but it is not clear that how much heavy it is going to be. It means this statement is corresponding to my fuzzy logic, while this statement goes to the probability. So here the heavy terms is called as the subjective, depending upon the person's interpretation of that. So it means this is corresponding to the subjective information or the subjective uncertainty, while this is given to you, so we will call as this as objective uncertainty. So as I discussed initially, there are the two kind of the uncertainty. One is objective, second is the subjective. So this means this is the probability which are defining for the objectiveness, while this is statement corresponding the fuzziness defined for the subjectiveness. Look at the another example are there. There is a 20% chances of the rain, while it is a light rain. So which one defined for the objective uncertainty, which one defined for the subjective uncertainty? So remember that the subjective uncertainty means which are unclear the statement. So you can see this word is a light rain, it is unclear. Sometimes the people may say 10% is a very light rain, sometimes people may say 5% is a light rain, sometimes people may say 7% is a light rain, and so on. So it means this is an unclear statement. So subjective information is my here, and here it is given to be that 20% chances of the rain. So there is a chance of them, it means this is my likelihood of them. So you can see this is the probability statement over the subjective over the objective uncertainty, while this is the fuzziness over this subjective uncertainty. Look at the another statements are there. So if you look about the first figure, it will be the ellipse, this will be my ellipse, or the circle are there. So there is a 50% chance of the every occasion. So it means this is a precise statement given to you, while on the other hand this figure in an inexact ellipse. What is the quantity of the inexact? What is the quantity of the inexact? Either this ellipse will be the 90% ellipse, or 80%, or 60%, or many more are there. So it means this inexact is my incomplete or unclear statement. So this is corresponding to the fuzzy logic. About the uncertainty is called as subjective uncertainty, while this is called as the objective because of this 50%. If the statement is given like here, there is a chance for every equation. How many chances are there? Is it a 10%? Is it 20%? Or 70%? So then in that case it again belongs to the subjectiveness. So we have to make the one important minor difference in the theoretical concept of the fuzzy logic and probabilities. Fuzzy logic attach the values between the 0 and 1, because sometimes it may be the 90%, it may be the 70%, it may be the 25%, and so on. So it lies between 0 and 1, and it measures the statement, measure the degree about whether the proposed statement is correct or not. If I say 90, it means this statement is not my 90% is correct. 25 means 25% is correct. On the other hand, the probability values gives of 0 and 1, that is again between 0 and 1, but it tell you about how likely, now remember the word is likely, the statement is correct. So there is a difference between them, whether how likely is there and it is how unlikely or how the uncertainty is there. So remember that whenever you are talking about the fuzzy logic and the probability, they are seem to be the same, but there is a difference between them. Other key difference between the fuzzy logic and probability is that you all know that if you have some variables xi's in the universal set, corresponding to each of the xi's we define the probability as pi. Corresponding to the each xi's we will define the membership function here. Now since it is a probability, we all know that the sum of the probabilities will be 1. Then we will call as the probability mass function. Or if it is the functions are there, then we will call as p of x into d of x is called as 1, called as the PDF, probability density function. So this condition must be hold in case of the probability. Well, while whenever you are talking about the membership, this sum of them will need not be necessary to be 1. It may be 1, but it is not necessary to be a 1. So for example, if I say there are the 3 variables are there, if I call as 0.4, 0.3, 0.3, the sum is 1, so I call this as my probabilities. And if you call as the membership value, so it may have it as 0.9, it 0.8, 0.1 corresponding to this. So clearly says that the sum of this is not be a 1, so it is not be a probability, it's a part of the fuzzy membership degrees. Another difference that we all know that in the set of the probability theory, A and A complement is always be the empty set, while this statement is not always true in the fuzzy logic. Look at that, if I consider A as my black, A complement is my white. So what is the intersection of the A and A complement in the probability theory? So that is always be a phi. But what is happen in the fuzzy logic? So it is not be equal to phi, because what will about it? What is the complement of the A? If I consider A as my black, what is the opposite of this? What is the opposite of that? That's a bit of black. Or if you consider this as a white, then what is the A complement is? It is nothing but a bit of white. So it means what is the intersection of that? That is what both is a bit of white or the bit of black events. So it means this is nothing is given to you. So it means in the fuzziness, A intersection A complement is not equal to phi, although it becomes a bit of black and bit of white. So that's why this is called as the fuzziness. So remember, in the fuzzy set theory, A into A complement is phi, but in the fuzzy set theory it is not be there. So it is a case of the probability, while this is in the case of it may or may not be there. So probability is always be true, fuzzy logic it may not be true. What are the characteristics of the fuzzy logic and the probability? That's very simple. Here everything is a matter of the degree of ness, while this is in the range of 0 or 1. It is based on the natural language processing, that is you can use them for the future predictions are there. It is used for only for the approximations are there. So it cannot be used for the approximations for there. It is best used for the suitable cases for the approximation, while it is only used for the partial knowledge. That is used for the programmings are there, while this only deal for the likelihoods are there. it is based on the quantitative analysis. Like if you discuss about the poorness, so some people may that it is a very poor are there, sometimes they will say that it's a moderate are there, sometimes people say this is a very very poor, or sometimes it say it's not a poor. So they have the different qualitative informations there, while it is not capturing about any of the uncertainty which are represented in the form of qualitative. What are the difference between the fuzzy logic and the probability? We can summarize them. It try to understand the concept of the vagueness as well as the ambiguity, while in this case the major association is that you can check whether the event will occur or not, that is whether it will occurs in the binary or not. It capture the meaning of the partial truth, while it capture only for the partial knowledge. In this case the degree of the membership play in the role in the set, while in this case the probability events is in the set. In this case the membership degrees are the well-knowns and hit the ill-known set of the A, while in this case this the well-known set of the elements are there. Fuzzy logic are working for the already happens are there, it is happening before the events are there. It is based on the set theory and it is based on the measure theory, while it is based on the truth degree of the membership or the mathematical basis, while it's ignored completely. There are widely application of the fuzzy logic and the probabilities are there. Fuzzy logics are widely used in air conditions, pattern recognition, vacuum cleaner that you are using in your, you have used that in these days. The washing machine in your houses, you can see the term called as the fuzzy logic washing machines are there. So they have used the fuzzy logics are there. All of you know that when this is a washing machine, this is the timer you can set as 0, 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, all are based on the fuzzy logic. While in case of the probability, you are working on the decision making theory, risk management scenario, calculation of the gain and loss, manufacturing business, all are based on the probability goals are. So I hope this you can understand the basic difference between the fuzzy logic and the probability in a very examples and the very difference are there. We will see in our next class what is the fuzzy set and the membership degrees in detail about their features. Till then you can simply like, subscribe, share and comments on this video, share with your friends so that people may understand it's very easy manner. Till then, best of luck students, happy learning.